Hi guys, it's Searchin the Idiot, but you can just call me Seer, and welcome to my channel. As you can see, I am in the game Genshin Impact, which is probably going to be the main form of my content on this channel. However, I will also probably post a lot of art content, because I am an art kid. Anyways, because this is my first video on this account, I feel like it's only fair that I give you an account tour. So come along with me while I do that. Now, as you can see, the character on my screen right now is the Raiden Shogun, who is my favorite character. And so let's start with her build. These are her base stats, a lot of attack. She is friendship level 10 and level 90. Her ratio is 76/181 with 233 ER and 53 electro damage bonus. I am running her on the deathmatch because it is one of the better crit weapons that I have for her. However, I do have a skyward spine. I'm running her on 4-piece emblem, and I have prioritized crit and ER and attack percent substats for her. Now, one thing I will say is my Raiden is built as a main DPS, so I have really prioritized that crit ratio and some more attack, but I am slowly learning the best ways that I could possibly build her. And so if you have any more ideas of how I can edit my build and make her do more damage, then that would be greatly appreciated if you wrote those in the comments. Anyways, I know that an electro damage goblet is probably better for Raiden, but the weapon I have her on and the set and the way things have rolled, I don't have an on-set electro damage goblet, and there's only one that I'd be willing to give up, and it has 0 crit rate on it. I do have her C1, it was an accident, and she is on the road to be triple crowned. Raiden is my favorite character, and she's definitely one of the characters that I really want to get her weapon and some more constellations for, but she's pretty good, at least for my account. And she does both parts as a DPS and a battery very well, so I am slowly working on her, but other characters are unfortunately more important for my account development. Here's my Kujo Sara. She isn't very invested in because she's just used for the Raiden team, but I am trying my best to make her usable. She is C3, and getting her C2 was actually how I got Raiden C1. It's a crazy story. Her talents are 4, 8, and 8 without the constellation. This is my Shilonin. That's a lot of defense. I gave her full defense everything, so some of her stats are very clearly lacking. She's on 4-piece scroll, and I feel like Shilonins are very lenient. As long as you stack her with defense, ER, and some crit rate, she pretty much does anything that you need her to. She's C0, and her talents are 4, 8, and 8, and the talents are pretty much going to be the same for all of my characters. Here's my Columbina, who I just recently got. She's 35,000 HP. A decent ratio, 73/141 with 155 ER, no Hydra damage bonus. I am running her on the Solar Pearl because she was severely lacking in crit rate, and I could not get it up for the life of me without a crit weapon. However, I do have a level 90 R5 prototype Amber, and when I eventually get the Lunar Bloom team, then she will probably be going back on that weapon. Maybe. Currently she's on the Morningstar set, but there is some debate whether or not she should be on Morningstar or Silken Moon for the Bloom team. So Her set may or may not change, but here are the roles, the artifacts so far. As you can see, I'm building the other set for her just in case, and I'm pre-farming for Lauma and Nefer. Her talents are 4, 8, and 7, but because she's currently being used as a sub-DPS main DPS for the lunar damage, I do plan on getting her normal attack up to 6 at least. And this is the only thing keeping me from leveling up her burst. I have Writhsley, who you can tell I've been using a lot. I got him almost a year ago, which is crazy to think about. And his crit rate looks very low, but with cryo resonance, I'm fairly certain, and his artifact set bonus that is increased. I do have his signature weapon, which is also another crazy story. But here are his artifacts. He's C0, unfortunately. I really need that C1. He is at 888, and I do want to get him triple crowned at one point, but I have other characters that really need their talents leveled up. Columbina. Here's my Farina. 40,000 HP, which I'm very proud of since I don't have her signature weapon. Her crit rate is very lacking, but I think it goes up whenever she's in combat, so I'm honestly not sure. No Hydra damage bonus because I needed that crit rate. She's on the Fav Sword and 4-piece Golden Troop with some pretty decent rolls. That was a lot of crit damage. As you can see, some artifacts like her circlet, I did prioritize the HP over the crit rate just because without the HP rolls she wouldn't have met the 40,000. She's C0 and her talents are 4, 8, and 8, and like I said earlier, that's a pretty common pattern. I have Arlecchino, who I don't do justice, but she does have a pretty good ratio, I will say. She has 120 ER, and unfortunately I have not gotten a Pyro Goblet for her yet. But because I don't use her often, and she does good damage without it, it's not a top priority. She does have her own deathmatch. If you couldn't tell, I am a pretty frequent Battle Pass buyer. I promise I'm not a whale. If I was, this account would be so much better. She has some pretty decent artifacts. She's C0, and her talents are 8, 8, and 6. Here's my Layla. My Layla is built purely for HP, so her stats are kind of non-existent. She even has 0 ER. Yeah, purely HP. She's HP across the board. She is C1. I'm not sure what it does, and her talents are 4, 8, and 6, because once again, I built her for the shield. Here's my Bennett. My Bennett is kind of sad. He could be way better. But he does have 225 ER. He's on the prototype ranker because that's what I had him on early game for the base attack. But I do have a sapwood blade that I can give him and level up when I do get the chance. He's on 4-piece noblesse like always. Has ER, HP percent, and healing bonus. He's C0, which is crazy to think about. And his talents are 4, 6, and 6. But I will level up his burst to 8 when I get the books. Here's my Escoffier, and I don't know about you, but I pronounce it Escoffier, but some people do pronounce it Escoffier. She has a lot of attack. Cryo damage bonus, which I just skipped over. 139 ER and 69 over 130. When I max ascend her, she will be getting over 70% crit rate though. I've given her the Prospector's Drill for the attack. And she is also on 4-piece Golden Troop. I got some very good artifact rolls for Escoffier. She's C0, but I really want that C1. And her talents are also 4, 8, and 8. Here's my Varessa. I actually got Varessa and Shilonen at the same time, so that was very fun. Same thing with Escoffier. When I level up Varessa for the last time, she will get around 70% crit rate, which will be very nice. Yep, 71. She has the Widsith R5. Sometimes I forget it's R5. And she has a very nice build, if I do say so myself. I was very proud of her build. I couldn't get an attack sans with double crit for the life of me, so you see I had to craft it. Although this was amazing. And her circlet is also pretty good. She's C0 and her talents are 8, 7, and 8, but this will be leveled up when I get the books. Here's my Mona. And funny story, my Mona hit an 87k in the Spiral Abyss, and I don't know how, because she is not very invested in. Genuinely, I don't know what happened. I have her on Thrilling Tales for an attack buff, because I usually run her with Arlecchino. She's on 4-piece emblem, and I've prioritized crit and attack and ER. C1, and I have her selected for the free constellation, so she will be C2 next week, and her talents are 4, 4, and 8. When I first made this account, and you might recall if you really like small Genshin YouTubers, that this account was actually posted on my old YouTube channel. So this channel has the same exact name. I changed the old one, and I deleted all the videos from it, just to kind of separate content creation and my personal life. But Lisa was my main DPS very early game. She's not built. She did have the Widsith. Now she's just a placeholder, but I did buy her skin. My Kale is semi-built, and I will say that she is missing an artifact. She uses Raiden's circlet, which isn't very smart, but I rarely use Kale. I use her maybe once in a blue moon, but she's C6, which really hurt, and her talents are 4, 6, and 6, because once again, I don't use her. I was inspired to build her because of the C6, but as you can see, I kind of gave up. Same thing with Xingqiu. I was using him for the Arlecchino team, but then I replaced him with Mona because Mona gives a lot of buffs. And I would rather run an Arlecchino damage team than just an Arlecchino vape team, mainly because I can't get any EM artifacts that are good. So my Xingqiu is not very built. He has an R2 sacrificial because I can't get any more. And he has some very not good emblem artifacts. He is C0, and his talents are 4, 6, and 8. Here's my Xiangling, who is built. She does not have a good crit ratio, but she does have a lot of ER and some good pyro damage bonus. She has a level 80 Skyward Spine, which I will max one day, I promise. And she has some very good emblem artifacts. At least according to the game. She is also C0 and her talents are 4, 8, and 8. After Xiangling, there isn't really any more characters that I have built. Now there are multiple that I plan on building, such as Eon-san, Fischl, Chevreuse, and Calvé, and Yao Yao, and maybe a couple others. But I do have a C6 Yao Yao, and where is he? C4 Kave and C4 Chevreuse, because they were on recent banners that I pulled on. Except for Kave. I just keep getting random Kave constellations. But yeah, those are my current built and often used characters, and now the next thing that I will do is go through and show you some exploration. Now, when I am not on my account, my close friend has access to it, and she has been a massive help with my exploration. In fact, she has done a lot of it. A good portion of the exploration. Now, as you can see, I don't have Liyue and Sumeru maxed just because I didn't start working on exploration until, I would like to say, Natlan. So yeah, Natlan is pretty close to being 100%. That's the only area that isn't So that's really been making me mad. I'm gonna have to go through with a map or something and try and get it. This area is 100%. I haven't done the quest for it. Nod Cry is 100%, including the new areas. Fontaine is 100% aside from the Court of Fontaine region. And even my Inazuma is all 100%. I am very, very proud of my exploration. I would like to say that I pull mainly aesthetics and the characters that I really like, but I am very often tempted by big numbers. And so the majority of my characters were pulled either for the aesthetics because I liked them in the story, or because I knew that they were genuinely good characters, or characters that would benefit other characters that I really liked. So as you can see, this is the only floor that I can't complete, and I was very close to doing so. In fact, I did the first chamber and failed miserably, and then my friend got on and did it for me. So shout out to the best Genshin friend ever. Here's my challenge summary. You can tell that it was really, really bad, especially early on. You can tell that's when I got Raiden. And this is when Raiden really got an upgrade, I would say. This was my original Raiden team. It was Raiden, Xiangling, Sucrose, and Bennett. And it was really good, but once again, my Raiden team is built mainly for damage and not really elemental reactions. Because I, once again, can't get a really good EM Sans or Goblet. And this is when I got Arlecchino, and she did good damage right there. And I don't even know how she did that much damage, but she did. And I'm excited for this newest floor to be added to my challenge summary, because when I tell you I saw a massive hit of Hydro, like it was 87,000, which is really high for my account. And the only Hydro character on that team was Mona. And Mona hits maybe 10,000 on a good day. So I was very, very confused. Here are my precious items, which are usually about the only thing that you'd want to see on an account. Here's my Primo count and my Fates, my Stardust. Here's my birthday cake. As you can see, I have the Mondstadt statue maxed. I have the Liyue statue maxed, I just don't have the extra, but I will get it when I go back to exploring. I have the Inazuma statue maxed, the Fontaine statue maxed, and the Natlan statue maxed. I'm in the process of getting Sumeru and Nodcry's maxed, but you know Nodcry cannot be maxed yet because they haven't given us all of the oculi. And for all of these regions except for Sumeru, I have leveled up their sigil things, whatever you want to call them. So Inazuma's is the tree, the fountain, and then the tablet. I have turned in all of the sigils that I can in Nodcry, but once again, it's not done being given out, so unfortunately I'm just stuck with a lot of sigils. Here is my weapon collection for anyone who wants to see how many 5 stars I have. I have a decent amount of 4 stars, a concerning amount of the Nodcries, and the Rusts. Not that many bells. I was expecting a lot of bells. I do have a lot of rain slashers, a lot of flutes, and a lot of rusts. It was kind of concerning, and I guess this kind of outs me. You can see that I bought the battle pass 3 times, and this is actually my 4th time. I bought it again when it updated, so I will be getting a new weapon, and I'm not sure if I want to get a refinement or if I want to get one of the others. I will probably get one of the others. It's the artifact collection, if that even does anything. Here's my items, my materials, I guess. Materials 1. Character materials, I guess you could call them. It's a pretty decent amount. And once again, I forgot over here, I have a lot of weapon enhancements. I have a lot of these billets. I have a lot of billets. It's like kind of concerning how many billets I have. Here's my gadgets, and I will say I have a concerning amount of hours on the Genshin Impact rhythm game. Here, let me just show you. They're all on the legendary rating. I've completed all of the legendary ratings, and you saw that section, that's all of them. And some of the songs that I really like are close to 100%. I have gotten some of them to 98 on legendary mode. Because I will say it again, I have a concerning amount of hours on the rhythm game. It's not even funny. So there's that. Here are my teams. This is my exploration team. This is just whoever I want to use in a moment whenever I'm doing open world. This is my ride and damage team. I have gotten her to hit around 130, maybe 150 before. 150,000. She usually averages just at 100. This is my Risley Freeze team, although Risley is very good in melt team comps, but I found that Freeze, it just works very well because I don't know if I'm just like stupid, but for some reason I think that putting him in a Freeze team makes me not need the elemental mastery as badly, because I don't think he has any. This is my Arlecchino team. Once again, I did have Syncjo in this spot, but instead of using her as a vape unit, I just wanted her as a pure pyro damage unit, so he was replaced with Mona, who makes her do more damage, higher damage. This is the Veressa standard team. I'm pretty sure this is pretty much it. It might be Xianyun instead of Shilonen, but I don't have Xianyun. But I will definitely try to get her now that I have Veressa. This is a team that my friend made. She had Sucrose and Fischl, but as you've seen, I don't have either of them built, so I've had to replace them with Kujusara and Raiden Shogun. This is a potential overload team, and here's the same overload team, but with Sara instead of Eon-san and Raiden instead of Veressa. This was a Hyper Bloom team that I just came up with. It's not a good one, at least I don't think so. That was a potential Kaveh team. I got bored and I needed Dendro, and so I was like, let me just build Dendro. And then I realized I didn't have the characters for it. And here's my friendship team. Let me take you to my Imaginarium Theater, and once again I will reiterate that I mainly pull for the characters that I like story or design wise, and then from there I get the characters who support them. Here are my past performances, which are kind of embarrassing. As you can see, I didn't finish this one. It was very bad. I did almost get all the star challenges though, which was very, very good for me. I like ran out of characters. Oh, I had to do that one on easy mode. Oh, and those are all the characters I had. Oh, that was awful. Oh no. This one also had to be done on easy mode. Did I okay, I at least completed them. That one got completed somehow. I don't even know. This one was completed. Oh my god. I think I remember doing this one, just being honest. This one was on normal mode. I used someone's Kazuha, and I don't know whose. And then this is the most recent one that I did. I was very proud of myself for doing hard mode because I usually don't have enough characters for hard mode. And I'm already calling it, next time it's going to be easy. I'm gonna have to do it on easy mode because I'm not gonna have enough characters. I'm already calling it. As you can see, I have the new skin for the Traveler. I've always been one of the people that played the canon MC in these kind of games, and now I'm like regretting it because the Lumine skin was so much prettier. But just think of the Yaoi. Just think of the Yaoi. That's... Ooh! My chasm is 100%. My Engonomiya is 100%. My Sea of Bygone Eras is 100%. And the Ancient Sacred Mountain is 100%. I forgot to show those when I did exploration. And from there, I'm not too sure if there's a whole lot else to show, but since I'm already here, I will go ahead and kind of go through any kind of pulling plans that I have for the near future, in which I do. And as you can see, I have Columbina, and I wasn't going to pull for her, but then I watched the live stream and I found out that she made characters who weren't from Nodcry do lunar damage. And as someone who doesn't have any lunar characters, I really, really needed her. So I pulled for Columbina, and thankfully I won my 50-50. Now, the main character that I want is Nefer. Just because, have you seen her? She has a cat, she does a lot of damage, and she's pretty. And she had a very important role in the Nodcry Archon quest. No spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it. But you can't have a good Nefer team that does all that damage without Lauma. And Lauma is one of the prettiest characters I think this game has ever seen. And so my main goal is to get Lauma and possibly her weapon. It all depends on if I win 50-50s or not, and if I have enough Primo Gems. And then after I get at least C0 Lauma, I'm not gonna be that upset if I can't get her weapon, even though it's the only good thing that she'd be able to use on my account. I will go ahead and pull for Nefer. If I get Lauma and I realize I don't have enough for Nefer, then I won't get that weapon, is essentially what that means. But, once again, I don't have any weapons that would be good for Lauma. At least not very good for Lauma. Other than the sacrificial. And I only have... what is it, one? Yeah, I only have one signature weapon on this account, so... I really want Lauma's weapon. Before I go, I do want to show off my teapot. Now, I will say, I did this all in one sitting today, and I may or may not have met the the limit for the furnishings, so don't look over there because it's not done. I don't know if it ever will be done. It might not ever be done. Just like, don't look over there. Please don't look over there. But I'm in the Inazuma one, as you can tell. You come in and that's supposed to be walled off. Here's the shrine, the pretty cats and some fox statues. There's a lot of trees. There's like a lot of trees. I put a lot of trees because I really like trees. This is where I was earlier, if you can't tell. I have this up here. This is really cute. I really like it. And then this, there's like rocks just like kind of going all the way around. In fact, I don't think you can get through. You can. Okay. But yeah, I have these set up. I'm pretty sure those were from the festival in Inazuma. I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to tour the inside of this place because it is not designed at all. This is supposed to carry on. This wall is supposed to come all the way down here and then connect through there with like a few more trees on the outside and some bushes. Imagine it. And here is the really big tree with the little... Is this a hot springs or a pond? I'm not sure, I can tell. But I was really, really enjoying building this, and then I ran out of space. So just like, don't look at it. If you ever come to my teapot, you're only allowed to be in here. Right here. That's it. So yeah. That was the full tour of my Genshin Impact account. If you have any questions or any tips, or you want to know more, then feel free to comment down below. and I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy the future ones that I will post, and decide to stick around because this was very, very fun. Anyways, that was all for this video. Goodbye! Hey guys, before I end this video, I would just like to reiterate that this is my first video that I'm posting on this account, so it's probably not going to be perfect, and I would like to say that I have not quite found my editing style yet. Editing videos has never been something that I've been good at, and now that I'm doing it in a different format than what I did when I was younger, it's kind of confusing, and I definitely haven't gotten the hang of it yet. But yeah, if any audios were not to your likings, that's probably why. And I would like to apologize if it sounded a little iffy. My equipment is not set up to be perfect. It's definitely not on par of a big streamers, and it probably never will be because I get the cheap stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and please read the description. If you have any comments or tips, then leave them in the comment section below and I will be sure to read them. Once again, thank you for watching this video, and goodbye!